Well, hey there, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm so excited we have a little bit of time together today. We're going to be using the gorgeous Carta Bella Beach Town kit to create a single page layout. I'm real excited to share it with you. This is one of the single page pieces of cardstock that there is. And oh my gosh, I just love these down at the bottom. Now, the thing when I am designing with a piece of cardstock that already has a lot on it, I don't want to fill it up with so many photos. I can't see the actual scene because that's what I liked about it to begin with. So we're going to be using 3 photos, but we're going to create our own little flip flap up here in the right corner. Here are some of the extra pieces we might be throwing onto the layout. Here are my photos and my journaling. I printed my journaling on some vellum paper, so that's going to be fun to use. And then we are going to create, as I said, our own flip flap. And this is going to be the top photo because I thought it really complemented these little shanty shacks down here. And then we have these pieces of ephemera that we're going to be using from the kit. These are some chipboard pieces. So I'm excited to show you how this all comes together. So let's clear this away and get started. I think we'll leave these up in the top corner as well as the photos and the journaling. Now we don't need these right here. So let's take these off, but we're going to keep our main sheet right there. All right, so let's get our tape runner. Now, I wanted to create a small frame around this. So when I was looking at this 12 by 12 sheet, I thought, well, where can I cut off of the side? And here along this side, it only showed the half of a shack. So I thought, well, that's where I'll cut that off. I wanted to keep this bottom seam, so I took some off the top. So that's how I got this middle section here. And this was a piece from my stash. And what you do is you just hold it onto your cutter and you just pull your blade in. You move the paper to one blade in at 1 inch and you go top and bottom. And then you turn it 1 inch, turn it 1 inch, turn it 1 inch till you're at the point where you've done a square, you lift it up, and you have this entire section to be able to use on something else, right? So that's the goal. We want to save what we have. We are not made of money. What am I doing here? I want to put the whole thing down and always make sure if there is a lighter or dark side. This is definitely the lighter side. This is the darker. And I want the lighter side going down. And hopefully I'm not going to regret doing this live, that I shouldn't have put this down to begin with. Y'all know me. And what I'll end up doing is just editing the video. Or sometimes, you know what? Just leave this stuff in because it makes it real and fun, doesn't it? All right, let's see if I can get it down the first time. And I think it's a go. There we go. Yes, it's as much of a go as I want it to be. Pull this down. There we go. I think we're good. All right, so now we're going to lay this down. Oh, I do love this side. I guess the only way to take care of that will be to buy 2 sets of the paper because you always got to give something up to get the other side. And this is beautiful. Okay. All right, let's get this centered. Is it straight on the bottom? Okay. We're just batting 100 so far. If it is not correct, don't tell me. All right, I think what I want to put on, I want to do the bottom first. So let's just decorate this down here. All right, so I do want to put on these pieces of chipboard, and I'm going to use this glue right here. It's the Mono Multi. That's what we're going to do. Remember in my last video, I actually dropped this. Let's not say that stuff out loud, right? We're going to put this down here on the bottom, and it is going to cover this up right here. And we're going to put it right side up. That always does help the layout when you can actually read what's written down. Put this here, and then in the, get these out of the way and let you see the pretty stuff. One of the pieces of chipboard is this bicycle, which I love. Oh, I want to give you a tip. Y'all know how I like to prepare ahead of time, right? So I have everything available to be able to kind of move around. On the chipboard pieces, especially if they have the sticker, I literally punch out all of these pieces and peel off that layer. So any piece of chipboard that I have, like this was a sticker, I peel it off and I can set it anywhere in the layout because this just takes a few seconds, right? To actually just put the glue on it to put it down, even though it doesn't have the sticker on it anymore. So to me, it makes things easier. All right, let's lay this down because I made, I put things in the forefront that were bigger than the shanties in the back, right? So it makes sense to also put a larger shanty. Now with this, I had to be careful. I was trying to do it in a way that you wouldn't see. Well, that's really not going to work. Well, what I could, ooh, right there looks good. That's where I'm going to put it. So you see some buildings in the background and you still see this right here. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is I have these pieces of chipboard. I keep thinking that looks crooked. I'm going to pause it and look. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but I peeled it off anyways. So we're going to see. All right. I think it looks a little straighter than it was. VEACH. And what I want to do is to put these up here in this corner. So we got to kind of get them where I want them. And then I usually do the outer layers in the middle. And then we know this is going to go right here and have my journal ink. So why don't we lay this down first? Let me show you what this is all about. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to make your own flip flap. First of all, whatever photo you're going to use, mat it the way you want it to be matted, because this is the top, this is the one I want to show, right? Then you're going to put your photo that you're going to be flipping up to see on the back of it, and obviously you're going to put it the right direction, right? When you use the roller tape to attach this to this, leave this open up top here, not at the photo. I'm talking about it. This piece, the light pink piece of cardstock and the photo, because you want to slip this piece of cardstock that you have already cut and you have already used a bone folder to make that crease nice and solid. So you already have this just like this. Then you're just going to separate the paper. You're going to put glue on either side of this white piece, slip it in, and you know you have that part ready. Okay? Does that make sense? If not, just ask a question in the comments. Now I have this page. I want to take my bottom photo and make sure it's the same size as this one. You can change how you want to mat it, because once you flip it up, it's going to be different. I just happen to really like that light pink, right? All right, so this is done. Now what I need to do is attach this piece to this one, right? And always make sure you have the correct orientation. So I am going to use my dot roller, and I'm going to put it on this side. Give it a good piece. All right, now don't even glue it yet. Just make sure these are matched up and this folds over good. If you have a good fold and nothing's crooked, push it all down. And then you're going to take the back of this. Doesn't matter how it looks on the back. This is all going to be attached to your scrapbook page. Put a good seal of this all the way around, especially up here at the top. And then you're going to decide where you want it. And you're just going to lay it down. Make sure that it's straight along the edge. So see, I'm kind of holding this up with my hand. And I think I'm going to put it right here at the 4. Paying attention here that it's all straight, and then just lay it down. And there you go. And now we're going to take this beach town, and I want to lift this up. This is funny. We went to like a beach town, right? Well, this is the name of the actual scrapbook kit. So I just cut it off of the branding strip. And what I want to use are a couple pieces of this right here. These are thin strips, and I want to put them on the back because I think it'll look good. And we're going to do this right here. And before I seal the bottom down, I'm going to cut it just at the edge there. See how it's the back of the branding strip? One must get creative, right? All right, so let's lay this down. If y'all ever saw my floor after I do these videos, there's all of the backings of every piece of dimensional on the floor at my feet. All right, so now we're going to do our journaling. See, doesn't that look so pretty? When you print on vellum, the only thing you have to do is give it time to dry. In other words, don't run it through the printer, pick it up, and then start cutting it because you're going to smear all this. But this doesn't smear now after it's dried. The tape and the glue that I like to use when I am laying down some vellum is this art glitter. It dries clear. So I am just going to put a couple of dabs of this in the middle right here up at the top because I have some pieces that I want to put above it that'll hide if there is anything that's showing. Well, look at all these bubbles just coming out. That's not good. It is what it is. I wonder who came up with that. It is what it is. All right, and I like this bird right here, so I don't want to cover them up. So I am going to put this right over the clouds. I kind of like that. And just be careful when you're laying it down. You know that's going to dry eventually. Fingers off, leave it straight. All right, I got to put this in here. This dries very quickly. All right. So I want to give this just a second to dry, and now I want to put this piece is ephemera. It says, love you to the beach and back, a parody on love you to the moon and back. And see, that's going to hold that down even more. Let's just make sure it's straight. All right, and then I put some dimensional tape on the back of this piece of ephemera. I don't care how easily you like to try to peel these. It does not happen. Okay. There we go. Because I wanted some dimension. It's called Beach Bum. But I love how it brings out this tone of green. So I'm going to put that right there. Just a little bit above the sign. All right. We almost have this all together. The next thing I want to do is to work on this right here. Decide if I want them coming. Goodness. Right here. I like it like that. All right, let's start gluing these down. And I will start with the B. And then I'll do the H. Then I'll do the A. We're going to move this out of the way. All right. This scrapbook page is a time when my mom, my sister, and I went on our second girls' trip. For those of you that have followed me, you've seen the previous girls' trip, and we went to Washington to visit my sister there. And we went on a wonderful, fun trip. I'm still scrapbooking from it. But this time, we went down to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and our daughter Lauren joined us there. And in these photos right here, we went to Harbour town, which is a pretty little town. We went to see the lighthouse, but we also walked on the pier to see the water. We walked along the beach. We sat in rocking chairs and took in the view of all those yachts that none of us could ever afford to own. It was just an incredibly beautiful day. And then we stopped and had some ice cream. So that made it even more special. All right, now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. And I think first I'm going to glue down this side. I'm going to get a glue dot. And let's see, here is a tiny little dot right there. We're going to grab it. Oh my gosh, I almost thought I'd forgotten to press the record button because I had to stop because my husband came in and I wanted to tell him I was recording. All right, I'm going to put this right here. where that little knot is on the bottom. And I want this to come about right there. All right. So I have a dot. I want to get one more. I think I want to put this one on the middle maybe. All right, so once you get the glue dot, just kind of roll it in your finger so it's a thin piece with it still attached. I know that's going to go like that. I want to put one right here above the A. Stick that down. See, it's very easy to do. If you see a little bit of the glue dot showing, just kind of roll your finger up to get it positioned. And now, I'm glad I paid attention because I need to move it down just a little. I want to put a little bit of glue at the top of the pieces. Put that down there. All right, so that's all secure right there, right? We need one more glue dot for up here. And then we're going to add some of those little pieces. I guess you could take these off with a what? With a what, Laura? I keep trying to say, well, tweezers. That is what I meant to say. That is what I meant to say. All right, make sure I got room there. And my fingers are kind of sticky. I think I want this one right here. Okay, very good. And let's put a little bit of glue up here and here. And then the next thing we have to do is just add some dots. All right, let's move that down. That'll be drying, and I want to move it a little more. Oh, goodness. Right there. Nope, not right there. Right there. Final call on the string. Oh, that looks good. All right, let's get that out of the view. And that was just a spool. Gosh, I could have gotten this at Michael's Hobby Lobby. I really couldn't tell you because I've had it a while. All right, so now let's add some of these dots that came with the beach town. Let's see where we could put a few. I'm going to open it up. We need to get our Take Your Pick tool from Stampin' Up, which is awesome. All right, let's see what colors we want to use. And what I like is when they're clear like this. I think a few right here would look good. Is that you can kind of move the cellophane around. That was just easier that way to see what colors and where you want to put them. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I want to put some up here. You know, I'm kind of wondering if I even want these on there. What do you think? Do they look all right? Let's put this because the colors aren't really. Yeah, that looks good, especially since I added that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's put this one right here. Let's put a little one right there. Okay. And then I want to put, one on either side up here. I'll put the little blue and a little blue on this side. All righty. There. And I need a blue over here. I think we're good. There. And are there any of these things I want to put down? Oh, I like this right here because you know what? I do not know these people, so I really don't care. But I'm going to move it over just a little bit right there. All right, my friends, we are going to call this done because I don't want to get, overzealous. So let me show you up close. First, let me show you this, our little flip flap, how it opens up to reveal the 2 photos. I was able to keep the scene down here, added my journaling on vellum, and then I did these chipboard pieces that were, one of those, what are these things called? flag with the twine. Oh my gosh. All right, my friends, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, I love hearing from you in the comments. Be sure to give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you're watching. And until we meet again, God bless and have an incredible day and stay crafty. Bye bye.